admit button here. If you guys wouldn't mind doing me a favor and in the chat, letting us know your name and where you're from, what you teach, that would be fantastic. Help us get to know you guys a little bit better. And today, here in just a little bit, we'll get started. We got about 45 minutes of stuff that we're going to talk about, and then 45 minutes of breakout sessions. So just bear with us for another second or two here. Ruth, can you see my screen all right?
Good morning.
All right, cool.
So Roberto Conchola from Tolson Elementary out of Tucson and Tucson Unified School District. And I had some car issues, so I'm driving and listening to everything on my phone. So I'll be joining you in the meeting via the phone, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Not quite sure how to turn off everybody's.
Yeah, if everyone wouldn't mind hitting their mute button, that'd be great. We appreciate it because
we have about 450 people in the meeting so far.
And we're expecting about 600 to join us today. It's going to be kind of nuts. So
yeah, everyone should turn off their video.
All right, are we good?
Shouldn't everyone turn off their video?
Yeah, if everyone might turn off their video and their microphones, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hey, my name is Mike Vargas. I am one of the co-PIs on the project. We are absolutely thrilled to have you guys here today. You know, we got a lot to cover. We're gonna go pretty fast, but I do want you to know that we are gonna record this. So that, and we're going to put on the website and we're going to put it out on the Facebook group page so that everyone can get access to it later. So if you missed anything, it is going to get recorded. So, and again, sitting next to me on my left here is Amanda. Amanda is also our other co-PI who is going to be walking through today's information. But before we do any of that, I want to do a couple more introductions. Namely, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Ruth Wiley, who is the Assistant Director here at the Center for Science and the Imagination. She is joining us from a conference on the other side of campus, and I would like for her to go ahead and give us a few words.
Well, hello and welcome, and I am just so happy to be here. And I want to start by saying congratulations on being selected in the first cohort of Arizona STEM Fellows. We are thrilled to be working with you, and we're thrilled to be supporting you in the work that you do. I think one of the key parts of this project is that we know that it is all the work that you're doing that is improving STEM education around the state. And so we want to be here to support your work and to tell people all the great things that you're doing. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me or the team, and thrilled to have you with us. And let's take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Wiley. I just want to introduce really quick Amanda Whitehurst, my co-PI. Amanda, you want to say a few words really quick?
I just want to say thanks for being with us. I know I've emailed with several of you so far, and I am so excited to see what kind of projects and what kind of great impact you can have with your students. So really excited to have you all here today.
Thank you. And we're also joined by Rachna Mathur, who's also our doctoral research student here in the office. And she's also one of our partners in the consortium. Rachna, you want to pop in and just say hi really quick?
Hi, I'm really excited to work with everybody. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. And then lastly, I want to introduce Shala. Shala is our program coordinator, and she's the person that you guys are going to have probably the most contact with. She's our person that's answering the phones and directing everything. So Shala, you want to jump in and say a few words?
Hi, I just want to say welcome today, ASAP. It's a pleasure to be here and to get to meet each and every one of you today. I'm going to be the point of contact for you guys for the course of this project.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so that's our team. We do have a couple student workers that will be coming online here in December. But this is the core of our group. This is the team that's been putting all this together the last couple months. And so, I got to tell you, this whole thing has happened in a 4-month process, which is pretty amazing. And it would have not happened without these guys working like every single day here in the office trying to put this together. So I just want to thank you guys individually for all your hard work on this. So thank you. So I want to start first of all, because I think there's a little bit of confusion on, where do we fit into the scheme of things here at ASU? So real quickly, I just want to introduce you guys to kind of give you an idea. So ASAP is actually embedded within the Center for Science and the Imagination, which is very closely affiliated with the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, which of course is all under the ASU umbrella. And so we don't exactly have direct lines of succession, so to speak. We all just kind of work together. So I just wanted you to know that moving forward, that you're going to hear those names quite a bit in a lot of the things that we do. And that's kind of where, that's where it kind of comes from. So, so getting back to, what is ASAP? What is the Arizona STEM Acceleration Project? In a nutshell, it's three buckets of funding that came from the Department of Education. Number one is measurement. There's a component to the project about measurement and making sure that we get good quantitative and qualitative data on, what we're doing with this money and with this idea that we're executing on behalf of ASU. The second thing is the STEM education ecosystem. So as we all know, COVID took a big chunk out of a lot of our organizations. Memberships are down for a lot of organizations. But more importantly, what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring back and build a robust STEM education network that us as teachers can tie into, that can help us in, making, better everything for our students when it comes to, statewide access and things of that nature. So give you an example, right? Like we really chose very carefully who we worked with, because we believe in these particular groups. Most of them are not, I'm going to rephrase that. All of them are nonprofit organizations that are working with us to bring you guys this high quality STEM PD. Not to say that there's not other stuff out there, which we'll talk about later. But these are the partners that we really want you guys to invest in, because we as a group, as years of science teaching here in Arizona and STEM teaching, believe in these folks and hope you'll get some good stuff from them. And the last part of the grant is you guys being ASAP STEM fellows, which is your technical term. If anyone asks you, well, what am I? You can say I'm an Arizona State University ASAP STEM fellow. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to home grow our talent, so to speak, and really kind of give you guys some additional tools and resources and stuff so that you can jumpstart education in your home districts and communities. So those are the three parts of the project. And now you're probably wondering, well, where did this idea come from? And it is based in science, just letting you know. The story basically goes like this. About a year ago, the National Academies of Sciences came out with their national call to action. And they said that these are the things that we need to do as a nation to start bolstering STEM education across the country. Because it is a thing. It's a big deal, right? I think we all know this too. So they came out with 3 action areas. And they said, these are the things that we should be working on: elevating the status of science education, establishing local and regional alliances for STEM opportunity, and documenting that progress towards better, more equitable science education. And I think with what we're doing here with this particular project, we're ticking all those boxes and we're doing these things that they have sent out their call of action for. So that leads us to where we are today, which is amazing. So in 4 months, not only did we build a consortium, which we'll talk about here in a second, but we also went out and we recruited very heavily from every corner of the state. So currently at the moment, we have 500 fellows plus across Arizona. We have every county represented, every major town is represented in the project, and they're also represented proportionally. So Some folks might wonder, well, why did I not get selected? And one of the reasons for that had to totally do with geography, because we did have to make a conscious effort to select folks based a little bit on not just your qualifications, but also, where can we put an asset that can help particular communities. The other thing we did when we were going through how do we make the call of who do we select, and there was, hundreds and hundreds of applicants for the project, is we went through and we looked to see, can we create this normal distribution of folks based upon the recommendation of the National Academies of Sciences, which says that the grades 5 through 8 band is the band that we should be focusing on if we want to raise all ships, so to speak. If we want to build STEM education, there should be a particular focus in that area. However, to make the grant work and to create the future lesson plan archive, which we'll talk about later, we needed help from everybody. We couldn't just have that particular group. So therefore, we do have folks in these other grades, as you can see here. But as you can tell, the bulk of our teachers for this cohort number 1 year is that grades in the grades 5 through 8. So this comes back to this whole idea of, how do we change things in Arizona, right? So I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been in meetings where, it's very top down, let's feed the district will feed these particular teachers, and we'll just, it'll trickle down economics. We're trying a different approach. And the reason we're doing that is because everybody knows that teachers are the keystone species in any environment, especially when we're talking about, bolstering STEM across the state. Those kids are not going to get into these programs without your support. They're not going to go join a robotics team. They're not going to learn how to do urban farming. They're not going to learn how to do any of the things that we want them to do unless there's a teacher at the heart of it, helping those kids along and helping them kind of find their way when it comes to opportunities in STEM education. So one of the things that we were very conscious of with this is, can we get a good group of teachers together that can all work together to basically bolster Arizona in a very unique way. So getting back to what this is, and we spoke about this in the last webinar, ASAP is a statewide STEM education accelerator. So that means, we understand, we're not here to fix everything. We like to hope that we could, but we're trying to jumpstart efforts statewide. We're trying to get things moving in the right direction, and that, and we're doing it from the ground up. So rather than going top down, we're going straight to the teachers and saying, hey, can you as the individual teacher help us to affect change across the state of Arizona? And we believe with our hypothesis that we can, and that we can do this if everyone pools their resources and their efforts together and make a case for more equitable STEM across Arizona. So let me talk a little bit about the roles of fellows in our project here. As a fellow, you're signing on for a couple key things. So just be aware of what you're signing on for. Number one, you're completing 30 hours of STEM PD. I said STEM PD. So that means, anything that is, an ESL class is not going to count. I'm sorry. If you're going to do, something with the district that is like a mandatory kind of thing, you need to really check the fine print and make sure that it is STEM specific, because if it's not, we're going to say no, and we're going to ask you to find something else, because we want you to do STEM only professional development. I can't stress that enough. The other, number two, is we're going to have everybody turn in 4 lesson plans, and Jonathan's going to talk a little bit about the STEM archive and what that deliverable is going to look like at the end of the day. We're very excited about this. This is a really cool component to the project. Our goal is to create an archive at the end of the day that has all your lesson plans in it that can be used for free for teachers across the state. You're going to retain ownership, copyrights of that stuff, but you're just agreeing to share it with the rest of the world and let us partake in your awesomeness, which we know that there's a lot of it, especially in this group. So those are our two first ones. Third one is, without question, the biggest one is your project with your students. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of folks that turned in applications where they said, I got a group of like 6 students and we didn't select those folks, right? We are looking for max output ROI, return on investment. If we're gonna give you guys funds, we wanna see the max amount of students affected by the funds that we are awarding various participants, okay? Now that means you can do it, but the other thing too is you can do whatever you want with that. So, you know, if you are in Wilcox, Arizona, hey, Ty, just giving a shout out to you, right? You can, you know, if you want to do something with agriculture out there because that fits your community, awesome. If you're somewhere else in like suburban Phoenix, right? And you want to do, you're doing coding with your students, great, that's awesome. Do something unique that fits your community. As long as it's STEM related, totally great. And the last component is feedback and evaluation. This is a research project to a certain extent, right? We are trying to bolster the STEM ecosystem, but we're trying to evaluate what we're doing as much as possible for the sake of creating that narrative of why, and making the case of this is what we need more of in the state of Arizona. And if we all work together, I have no doubt that we can accomplish this. But you don't have to if you don't want to. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I do want you to know that we have an amazing group of partners that are teaming with us. This particular group, all these folks have brought something really awesome to the table for you guys to participate in. We have about 15, 16 partners. All of them are going to be offering professional development opportunities at very low, next to no cost for fellows. And I highly recommend checking out what they have to offer today, and also going through the documents that we sent you on Monday, because there's a long description and a video that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect with each of these particular organizations. I can tell you that they are all awesome. There's not a group in here that we do not fully support like 100%. It is a really cool thing that all these folks have been able to come together to make this happen for STEM teachers here in Arizona. Now, I will say that, you know, if you decide to do something outside of the network, so to speak, that is okay. However, it must be a state or national organization to get approval. And you do need to ask for approval before that, because, you know, we need to make sure that it's not something that's, you know, like a pay to play, like, you know, Discovery Channel. That would definitely not be on the okay list. So just FYI. All right, so I'm talking really fast and I apologize because I know we're gonna have a bunch of questions at the end here, and I do want to respect everyone's time. But right now what I'd like to do is I'd like to turn this over to Jonathan Perone, who's gonna be our lesson plan gatekeeper. And so give you kind of an idea of what Jonathan's been tasked to do. He has the mighty task of taking everybody's lesson plans and putting them into one database that everyone can use. And the way we're doing it, which is really kind of cool, is this is a joint project between the Arizona Education Foundation and ASU. And so Jonathan is the gatekeeper, the go-between for this particular part of the program. And he's going to give you kind of just a quick briefing on what the expectations are and what you're going to need to do to get his final thumbs up. So Jonathan, are you out there?
I'm ready to go.
All right, here you go.
All right, everyone. My name is Jonathan Perone. I'm happy to be with you here this afternoon. 15 years teaching in science and STEM classrooms, and I'm excited to see all these lesson plans pour in so we can get more STEM out there into our schools. Some basic stuff about the lesson plans, and there'll be more details as we move forward and get closer to that point in time when you're actually creating them. But first and foremost, as Mike mentioned, these need to be STEM lesson plans, just like they must be STEM PDs that you attend. And so we're familiar with the acronym, and I know across the room we have teachers who've been teaching STEM for years and others who haven't been. They've been teaching ELA or math or other content areas. And so the primary idea here is that STEM is an interdisciplinary approach. meaning that your STEM lesson plans need to include some aspect from all these different areas. So it can't just be a science lesson plan, and it can't just be a math lesson plan. It really needs to work towards integrating these different areas. I had a lesson plan for another project come in yesterday, and it was about Mars landers. And that's Earth and space science, but it's also engineering. And then there's technology involved, and there's math and the calculations that go into it. And so all of a sudden you can see, okay, this clearly has all 4 areas. I'm good to go. And so we're looking for lesson plans that, strive to emphasize all 4 areas. That being said, some STEM lesson plans have a strong math focus. Other ones might be heavy in engineering. We understand that, but all 4 should be involved in your lessons. To keep this as streamlined as possible, the lesson plans are going to follow a Google slide deck template. We're hoping that this makes it really easy for you because we're going to give you the template, and all you're going to need to do is copy and paste your content information into the template. And we'll go over what some of those basic slides will be, which can then be filled out and fleshed out to a little bit more extent depending on your lesson plan. The last thing to get started is remembering your audience. Your audience is other teachers, and some of these teachers will not have any STEM experience. And so we want to keep that in mind when we're creating our lesson plans. We want this to be as user-friendly as possible. The purpose of using the Google slide deck format is so that a teacher can download the lesson plan off of our website and the next day put it up in front of students. They'll be ready to go. They can run through it. Okay, so Mike, if we want to go on to the next one. This is going to be our basic checklist. We're looking for you to have involved in every STEM lesson plan slide deck, a simple title slide and a notes and materials. So the notes and materials is going to be just for the teacher's eyes only. This is going to be, okay, these are the things you're going to need to get. Maybe it's a box of junk, as many STEM lesson plans use, or it might be paper plates, or it might be something specific. It might be like, you need Sphero robots for this lesson plan, and that's okay. And a teacher will know, oh, I have access to that, or no, I don't, or hey, I have this money from the grant that I can use to buy resources. This lesson plan says I need these. Okay, that's what I'm going to go get. And so that's one of the great things about it is we can create a much more varied set of lesson plans because we can include different materials and resources. Of course, we're going to have standards. Now, this is an interesting component of a lesson plan when we don't actually have STEM standards in Arizona. What we have are science standards, technology standards, and some other fringe standards. If you're in high school, there are engineering standards. So we're going to be flexible here. One of the great things about our science standards is we have things like the science and engineering practices. And these are things like asking and solving problems, which is one of the components of pretty much every single STEM lesson plan that exists. So I don't want anyone concerned that you're not familiar with STEM standards, since they don't exist, but rather that you already are familiar with the things that we're going to be looking for. We're going to be tagging our lesson plans with the standards, but it'll be simplified. So you're not going to be drilling down all the way to the specific PO item for the standard, but rather a general, this is a physics standard, P1 for grade 5, let's say. And so you'll be able to check that as you submit the lesson plan. In addition to standards, you'll have your objectives, of course, an agenda, which I'm saying is optional, but it's a nice way for a teacher who doesn't know how the lesson's going to go to have a quick scan to say, okay, this is the layout of the lesson. Some sort of intro or anticipatory set to get started with the lesson. And then the most important piece is the hands-on activity. Every STEM lesson plan that we get really should have some sort of engaging hands-on activity. We don't necessarily want a lesson plan that, although it is STEM, is a lecture for an hour. Nobody wants to sit through that in this room, and I'm sure our students don't either. So we want to make sure that these are engaging lesson plans that allow our teachers to go in and put something in front of their students that they're going to not only learn from, but also enjoy and engage with. Finally, we're going to have an assessment section to our lesson plans. We know that this can look a lot of different ways. This can be purely formative. It can just be, how am I going to check in with my students throughout this project, all the way through more summative activities where you might be doing some sort of performance-based assessment, video assessment, or traditional assessment. All of those are possible. Finally, differentiation is going to be an important component, again, for both the teachers and for the students. We know that they're going to be accessing this at different ability levels and different manners of access. So we want to make sure we're taking that into account. So every lesson plan is going to be required to at least have some level of differentiation. This could be as simple as saying, we're going to reduce the workload for students who aren't moving at this pace, and we're going to have these opportunities for enrichment or extension that goes along with it. Okay. So what's this going to look like for you? You're going to be asked to submit 4 STEM lesson plans. Most likely this will be starting no earlier than the end of the year, but most likely the start of 2023. You're going to go onto our website, and it's going to have a submission page, and you're going to submit the following information: the link to your lesson plan, which will be a Google slide deck, lesson title, and a brief summary. In my mind, I'm trying to balance 2 things: usefulness and accessibility for people coming onto the site, and the ease of access for you as the teacher submitting this. So the summary should be something that takes no more than 1 or 2 minutes. In my head, this whole process takes 5 minutes to submit once you're done with your lesson plan. You're also going to submit tagged keywords and tagged standards. This will allow us to have a searchable database so that a teacher who comes onto our website can look for something such as engineering, and also 4th grade, or they might look up 5th grade volcanoes, and they can put in some keywords and it'll pull up all the lesson plans that have been tagged with those ideas. This is really going to be helpful for those teachers who access the site once it's live. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple and straightforward. So you'll be submitting, again, the link, the title, a summary, and then tagging your lesson plan. Once that happens, the lesson plan will come to me, and my job is to go through and make sure that all of the components are present. And again, I'm looking for a balance here because we want lesson plans that are useful to teachers. We also don't want it to be so strenuous on you as the fellows that you don't want to do one beyond the first. So we're going to make sure that it's a simplified process. It doesn't take too much time, but it also generates a database that's really useful for all teachers. All right.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Okay, so moving along, hey, I just wanted to, before we get into like paperwork and what's due and all that wonderful stuff, you might have seen in some of the earlier correspondence, the milestones are laid out in steps. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But to get your first stipend, only requires for you to do 2 lesson plans and 10 hours of PD. And that window will open very shortly, probably either right before Christmas or right after Christmas, depending on when the website goes up. So the website, just so you know, is being worked on. We have a team working on it at the moment, and they've given us a date of about December 18th. And so the website that we have now, I'm just telling you, is not that is not the intention of that being the permanent place. But the new website will have all these wonderful features, including a searchable database for lesson plans, but also it will allow you to look up PD opportunities that are taking place in your area. So once this all comes online, you'll get an email. We'll say the website's up, and it'll be a really cool tool for you to use to navigate all the things that we're talking about. But again, start thinking about, hey, that first milestone, I believe it's $1,000, Amanda, is what it is. You can do a lot with $1,000. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I would love for you to go do some like awesome PD with that, take it and go, go to a major national, go to NSTA, go to space camp, do something that would really, float your boat when it comes to like, hey, can I get some enrichment in my teaching? But again, it's up to you what you do with that. There's no one going to be watching you in that particular case. But that was but I just want you to know that was kind of our intention by staging it out so that you could get a little bit before the main paycheck, which will hit, at the end of the summer once all your stuff's completed. So talking about getting stuff completed, I do want to walk you guys a little bit through the paperwork here really quick. Everybody should have gotten this email on Monday. If you didn't get the email, you need to email Shala and she'll send this out to you. But somewhere in the middle, it's highlighted, it says links to onboarding docs. Check it out because we have a rules and facts page. We'll answer probably most of your questions. We have all the PD partners descriptions. We also have video links to their programs so you can kind of get a little bit of a better idea of who you're engaging with. And we also have a fellows document example of what we're asking for, which is actually going to be a form that we'll send you in about a week and a half or so. And what we're going to ask you to do is just kind of give us a rough idea on what is it you plan on doing next semester. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly what you're going to do. But as educator professionals, we all know that a game plan is a good thing when it comes to long-term strategies. So we have included that in there as part of the task list that needs to get done. So a couple things when it comes to getting your paperwork done. Please, 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 number one thing that you do, get into the ASU system. Do that this week. Don't wait, go do it. Because what's going to happen is it's going to take ASU a while to get your names in there. We're going to have 500 plus fellows all signing this paperwork in the next couple of days, and it's going to take a little bit. But what's going to happen is ASU will give us this unique identifying number for you, your contractor number, and that contractor number will allow us to start making you a real person in the system. And so that does take a little bit of time, so we need you to do this quickly. Once you get that, we'll have you fill out the independent contractor checklist, which will, again, it's all part of the ASU paperwork that needs to get done before we get you completely on board. But once you got that, we'll be able to get you, we'll be able to have you start filling out the fellowship plan. And the fellowship plan is basically about 3 or 4 questions about what you're going to do and so on and so forth. But what I'm really excited to share with you tonight is once you get these first milestones completed, we here at ASAP will be able to start issuing you funds to buy your supplies. And I know we've been talking for the last couple of months about using Amazon as our method of getting everybody supplied. But I want you to know that we are scrapping that completely. We have gotten approval to write you a check. So once you get these things done, there's going to be a check coming your way for $2,500 for supplies. Now, originally you're supposed to get $2,000 for supplies, but now you're going to get $2,500 for supplies. And part of the reason for that is because we just found out like this week that we got approval to do this, which is awesome because now those robotics guys out in Chandler that keep harassing me about those little tiny robot guys, you can go buy them because I know they're not on Amazon. So now you can get the stuff that you want and you can order it from who you need to get it from. The extra $500 though, I'm just going to tell you, this is taxable and I'm not allowed to give you any tax advice and I'm not allowed to say anything about taxes, but $500, if you do the math, can cover your taxes on getting $2,000 for supplies. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But just FYI, that's, one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons you will all get an extra $500 when it comes to supplies for your projects. Now, we are going to ask you guys to give us a receipt for what you purchase for $2,000 once you get everything bought. But that doesn't need to come to us until the end of the spring when you've completed your projects and everything's good to go. So just keep that in mind. Don't throw away your receipts. Make sure you keep them. Make sure you can justify all the things that you're buying. And please make sure that you're buying stuff that is student facing. In other words, if you come to us and you say, hey, I bought like, this laptop and it's awesome and, or this iPad and it's great. Probably not the best purchase because unless you can really justify how that's multiple student facing, it's probably going to be frowned upon is what I'm going to tell you. We're really looking for folks to buy stuff like, robots or spheros or tools or equipment or things that you need to actually do your project. So just keep in mind that the project and what you buy should go hand in hand. And we would really like it if you would, buy things that are going to last longer than a year. I totally understand everyone needs expendables, right? Paper, straws, whatever. I get that, but try to keep that those expenses low and try to focus on buying things that can last longer than one session or 2 sessions or even a school year. We would really appreciate that. Part of this project is depositing resources across the state. And the funds that we're giving you for this, you know, we would like to keep those at the school if at all possible. And so if you do leave for whatever reason, hopefully you don't, because this is a great opportunity for the next 18 months. But if you do, we would ask that you leave those supplies with the teacher next to you that will actually use them, or somewhere in your vicinity, but make sure they get used and they don't get, you know, thrown away or set to the side or put in a dusty closet somewhere. So we'd really appreciate that. So at any rate, just so you know, again, once you complete these first set of milestones, you'll be issued a check for $2,500. All right, so let's talk about your fellow professional, your fellow plan document. Your fellow plan document basically has 3 things in it. What are you going to take? What PD do you plan on taking? Your lesson plan ideas. They don't have to be perfect. Just give us a rough idea of what you plan on doing. Understand that we're going to do research on this later, and we're going to look to see, like, you know, hey, what did Bobby Smith do with, you know, the beginning of the year versus what they actually turned in? We're going to look at those kinds of things later. So just, you know, before and after. And for your project proposal, give us a description of what you're going to do and include what are the supplies that you're going to purchase for this particular project. Whatever that is, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we need to have a pretty good idea of what you're going to do with the funds, because again, we need to justify all this at a later date that this all made a difference. And so we need your help with that. So those are the 3 things for your fellow plan document. The Arizona STEM Acceleration Project is also doing research. Like I said, you are not beholden to being a part of the research, but I want you to understand that you know, the research is going to make a difference, right? It's going to help all of us at the end of the day. And so you know, but it doesn't mean that you can't not participate at this point if you don't sign this. But I do want you to know that we're not going to judge you or evaluate you in any shape, form, or fashion. In fact, that's not what we're trying to do at all. But we are going to take some metrics like numbers of students affected and, you know, your, you know, teacher efficacy score of, you know, STEM lessons and how you engaged with the PD partners, things of that nature that are not necessarily identifiable in nature. Not to say that nothing will be non-identifiable, but like most of it will not be. So I just want you to know that when you're signing up to do research with us, it's nothing intrusive. You know, we're not going to get names of all your students and things of that nature.
Just to clarify, all the information is non-identifiable.
Again, all the information is non-identifiable. So just keep that in mind. So, and we'd appreciate your support. All right. So when it comes to the research component, I do want you to know where this is coming from a little bit again, okay? We're using the project to take a look at best STEM practices in STEM education with an Arizona lens. And that's really important because we're trying to make the case for more STEM in our state and a more robust level so that we can impact more kids. And we need everybody's help to do this. You know, if we can show that we did a good job with implementing the National Academy of Sciences call to action, awesome. And also at the end of the day, you know, like any other project, we do have to be accountable for, you know, the expenditures that we're having. So we need to be able to prove, did we make an impact? Did our dollars do the things we wanted them to do? And so anything you can do to help us with that, to make the case, I would be very grateful to you. And again, we're going to send you this consent link down here at the bottom, and you will get that probably after the webinar in the next day or 2. So timelines. Timelines are important, you know, and so just so you have an idea of where we're at, we have, this was our big deadline. Getting to this point today was a big deal for us as a team. We worked really hard to get here, which we're pretty excited about. For you as a participant, as the fellow, we need you to get that paperwork, start turning it in the next couple weeks here. So think 2 to 3 weeks let's get all your stuff turned in back here to the office so we can start processing it. And then we can start getting you guys your supplies, because ideally we'd like to get your supplies to you no later than January so that you can execute your project and start doing great things with kids out there. Once you start turning in your deliverables, your lesson plans, and your PD hours, we can start cutting you guys checks and paying you guys for the work that you're doing. Just FYI, you know, the 4 lesson plans will all get sent on the website. So Jonathan's going to see them. He's going to take a look. He's going to give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. We'll put a check mark in our file. And then once we see that you've completed your hours, you know, you'll start getting paid in kind. Sorry. So just kind of keep that in mind. And the other things I want you guys to think about also is, you know, I know some folks out there are talking about doing PD during the summer, which is totally awesome. If you wanted to do like, let's say you want to do like a modeling instruction workshop, usually those are like 2 weeks in the summer, or you wanted to go on you were going to do a trip with like, you know, Antarctica explorers group or something of that nature. Yes, that's a thing. That's fine, but keep in mind that you've got to have all your paperwork turned in no later than July 31st. For us here at the grant, we have to have your paperwork wrapped up so that we can move on to year 2. And so that's a hard stop. So whatever you plan on doing for your professional development, make sure that you have all your deliverables, everything turned in by the end of July. And that can't be negotiable. We have to have that done. Okay. So keep that in mind and we appreciate that. All right. We're at the point of the night that I think everybody is really excited for, which is getting to meet some PD partners and talk to some folks. We'll be answering questions. I think Amanda shared the question document. Not yet. She's going to share it here in a second. We're going to put a question document here in the chat here in just a second. And so feel free to ask as many questions as you want. We'll answer them tonight and the next day or two and shoot those out to everybody so everyone's got them. Yes, Amanda.
Ask Rachna to share that question document. She's working in it right now.
Oh, Rachna, you want to share the question document? Awesome. So those are pretty much all the main things I wanted to talk to you guys about. You know, we'll talk again for about 5 minutes before we close it out. But I just want to say thanks again for joining us on this journey. We are so excited to have you guys. This is like, you know, this is pretty unprecedented and anywhere that I've ever heard of. And so we're just really, really grateful to have all of you on board with us. So what we're going to do is we're going to put you in, we're going to set up the breakout rooms and you can pick who you want to go visit with. And our partners, a representative will be in each room to answer questions. And it will be about 15 minutes, 15 minutes-ish. And then we will rapture you out back into the main room for a minute of Q&A before we send you back to another group. So you got 3 groups you can choose from out of the partners that are here tonight. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time for all of them, but you know, but again, we will record as much as we possibly can for a later date. All right.
If they can let their feet do the walking too. If they've gotten the information from a PD partner that they need and they are ready to go to somebody else, they don't have to wait until the 15 minutes is up.
Okay, awesome. So you don't have to wait for the full 15 minutes. If you want to keep going, you are welcome to keep going. All right. Amanda, take it away. Opening the rooms now.
Love you, Mike. Thanks.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I joined a little bit late because of conferences. Are we paying for these PDs or is it
most of them are free or near free? We're talking like $10.
Okay.
Some of them are more, but it just depends. You pick what you want to do.
Okay, also, what if I'm already a registered supplier for ASU because of the work that I've done with the ASU? Do I still have to register as a supplier?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
Please,
all right.
please give it a try for us. If there's a problem, then email us, or it may email you, it may respond with your supplier number, and then you can make sure that we have that.
Okay, also, another question is, if I've done a PD recently, how recently would that consider, it's a STEM PD, but if I did it recently, would that consider to be a part of this or no?
You can count anything. So that in year one, because it's year one, you count anything from August 1st. So
Okay.
anything after August 1st is fair game. So if you went to the Arizona Science Teachers Association conference 3 weeks ago, no problem. You can count. I think that program was 15 hours. You can totally count that. So
Okay, August 1 onwards, and how many hours do we have to do altogether?
30. You must complete 30 by July 31st.
30 hours by July 31st.
Yes, ma'am.
30 hours by July 31, August 1 onwards, 4 lesson plans, right?
Correct.
Thank you. And now
You
I can
bet.
on this. Thank you.
No problem.
Mike, can we get sharing for the
Yeah.
microphones?
Screen sharing. We can't screen share. We might have to ask Amanda because I think she's the host.
Amanda, turn on screen sharing. Turn it on.
To do screen sharing, you have to make all of the PD providers co-hosts when they go into breakout rooms.
Hi, I'm sorry, but I joined late and it looks like everyone's popping into breakout rooms. And I'm not really sure how to do that.
That is a good question. Let me ask Amanda and see.
Look at the bottom of your screen. It'll say breakout rooms. You click there and you get a list.
Yeah.
On my bottom, it just says leave. I'm afraid if I click on it, that's gonna be it.
There's nothing to the left of leave.
Nope.
There should be 4 boxes that say breakout rooms.
Ah, okay.
The top left corner.
Okay, so I join either anyone that I want.
Yep, anyone you want.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Mike,
Hi, good evening. I have a question. May I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I'm an international teacher here, and I'm on H-1B visa right now. And I have a simple question, if whatever information has been asked in the email you provided with, we have to provide you our social security number and other information so that we can get the checks. But the thing is, we on H-1B, there is a condition that we cannot take money or any kind of pay from any other organization except our employer. So in that
Jeff,
case,
I'm going to try and force you into a room.
To answer your question, there is a spot on there for international. I think there's an H1. I think there is a section on the email that we sent you for folks that are not Social Security card holders. So I would check that and see and look on that particular site, because ASU gives us 3. There's 3. It's U.S. citizen, non-U.S. citizen, and then it's something else. And so I would look at that and take a look, and then if it doesn't work out, let us know and we can work it on our end.
Yeah, actually, I have gone through that link and I figured out that they're asking for Social Security, and I can fill that form. There's no issue with that. But the thing is, the money which will be paid to us will be on our name. The checks will be on my personal name or on my district name. That was my question, because
no, you are an independent contractor with Arizona State University, so it will go to you.
So in any case, can it be possible that it can go through our district and then we get it? So I don't mind that.
Why don't you send me a separate email and I can take a look and I can definitely explore that option for you.
Oh, that's sure. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
You bet.
I can add this to on this, Michael. Hi, Ajay. This is Gagan. I have done this in past. And this goes through the district. I'm in Peoria district, so they don't have any problem. We are allowed to do that. We do have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'll take a look tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. I will email you for that.
Perfect.
Thank you. And
Hi,
thank you, ma'am,
Mike,
for that information.
No problem, Ajay.
Hi, Mike, it's Jeff Steiner.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
You're doing great work. I had a quick question because I don't see AMTA as one of the breakout rooms. But I'm interested.
I believe you're co-hosting with STEM Teachers Phoenix.
Oh, okay. There wasn't, okay. So Colleen is there or someone I can ask a question about?
Yeah, Kelly and Melissa are both there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my question really had to do with if I can get funded for a workshop that is starting in January through AMTA. And I don't know if that's funding that I pay for or the project pays for. There's an astronomy workshop. So would they know that?
That
you
one
would-
would be on you.
Yeah. I would coordinate with Melissa.
Okay. Yeah, it's Colleen who's offering it. So, all right. Thanks. I'll check in with them. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
All right. Oops.
Amanda, how we doing on time? Do we need to rapture everybody or will it automatically do it?
It's going to automatically do it.
Cool. So I'll just hang out and answer questions. If anyone else has a question, you want to raise your hand and I'll get to you.
Mike, I don't know if you can see me over here.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
Lacey, how you doing?
Hi. Good. So I stepped out because I must have joined the wrong one. I thought I clicked on a different one. How much more time do we have in this session? So if I jump into another one, it wouldn't, if it's going to be beneficial or not.
Oh, you got plenty of time. We have 8 more minutes to go, I believe.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
I just had a quick question for you, or someone,
Sure.
if possible. So I am doing the CGI training. I didn't see a breakout room for that. Is there not a breakout room for CGI?
Susie Mass was supposed to be here tonight, but I don't know if she's here or not.
Okay, I didn't see a room, but that's okay. I've got enough information because we're already signed up for it as a cohort. But I do have a question as far as like, I plan on doing all of that, which would cover all of the hours. But I also am interested in one of the others. So do all of my lesson plans have to be geared towards, like, for instance, if I pick CGI, or could I also do like the robotics? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. No, you can do whatever you want. That's the beauty
Okay,
of
so I
it.
can do-
So you know, ideally we'd love to cultivate those lessons from you because they help the greater community, right?
Right,
Because it's kind of
for
like
sure.
we're trying to build that. We're trying to build the archive up.
Mhm.
But again, don't feel like pigeonholed into doing one thing. You can take whatever you want. So you don't have to do 30 hours either. You can do, if you want to go more than that, go for it. So but
So
we're only
the minimum
only
was
asking
4,
fellows for
but I could give you as many lesson plans as I wanted.
what's that?
I said the minimum was 4, right? But I can give you as many as I wanted.
Yeah, I would just check with Jonathan because he's got quite the job ahead of him.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to check them all. And then I-
500 times 4 times 2 years is a lot. So he's doing us a favor.
My other question is I saw that there were some offerings over the summer, like there was a summer camp and some different things. And I know this is kind of like a 2-year thing, but there's like an application towards the spring. Which will those summer programs count towards, this year or next year?
Well, everything. So the rule we set up was that it's August 1 to August 1, basically, or August 1 to July 31st. And then next year it will be the same. It'll be August 1 to July 31st the following year. This first year, we're kind of doing everything on the fly, as you can tell, because we only found out we got awarded in May. So we've put all this together in 4 months scrambling. So I'm hoping next year it'll be a little bit more fluid. It'll be a little bit easier to navigate, especially when the website goes up. Like yeah. But yeah, you can do whatever you want, you know, as long as it's, you know, STEM related. So we're getting a lot of questions about, you know, can I do like this ESL training, or could I do like a leadership training? And the answer is no.
Right.
It has to be specifically STEM for the grant. So that's the rule. But yeah.
All right. I really appreciate all your work.
No, thank you. Thanks for being here. We're excited to have you guys.
While you're on the topic, could I ask you a quick question that I have on that issue?
Absolutely. Go for it.
So I'm part of a group here in Tucson, and we create PD for teachers in the area on, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it's called the Green Academy, and it's, you know, mostly farming based stuff. And so I'm just trying to figure out if all the time that I spend on creating and running those is related, or if it's wouldn't count.
Well, the question is, you know, are you are you doing it as like a club or a volunteer, or is it like you're getting like true legit professional development training? Because you know, there's a couple folks that have asked us, well, you know, if I attend this like conference for students on robotics, does that count? You know, that would definitely not count. It needs to be something where you're showing up and you are getting like, it's like you're taking like a class, or somebody is, you know, you were learning something to better your instruction. So if it's something like that, yeah, no problem. But you know, but if it's out of network, you would need to like run it through us so that we could just spot check it really quick and see if that counts. So does that make any sense? Does that make sense at all? Or
No, I mean, yeah. Obviously, I mean, I guess we're constantly working to create professional development for teachers. So, you know, that's kind of not me getting it, but at the same time, obviously, that's what's happening as we all work to create these PDs for teachers. I mean, I think basically the PDs that we do probably should count towards your requirements for other teachers, and I'm part of the group that's creating them. So I was trying to figure out how that fit into it.
This sounds like a
No,
more
it's
complex question than we can answer right now.
Cool. I can
mean,
put in an email and we can go
yeah,
from
put
there.
it in an email, because you know it's like that old story of there's this old story a couple years ago about a calculus teacher that went back to school, right? And the guy had to go. He went to the local school to go take classes, and they're like, you know, hey, you know, you got to take calculus, man. You know, and he's like, dude, I teach calculus. And you're like, well, sorry, you still got to take the class, you know, or we can't count it. And so it sounds like it's one of those kind of situations where, you know, you're the calculus teacher, you already know it all, but according to the rules of like that are in place of how the grant works, like, which is not a fun catch-22, and I apologize, but we could definitely look at it. I would just have to get more specifics. So
No, it sounds very reasonable. I get it. So we'll talk soon.
okay. All right, Amanda, I think we're ready to go to the next
Yeah,
one.
could you make sure that you mention that AZTEA is now an option? I had not added them in the first round. Could you just point that out to everybody if they were looking for it? It's there now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. It
I have
says
a quick
time is
question. I'm one of the kinder teachers, and I was wondering if you had a recommendation on which one would be more appropriate for my level.
That's a great question.
I am the STEMazing leader at my district, but for the kinder group, a lot of them, some of the breakout rooms I went into were talking about high school, so I didn't know if one applied a little bit more to me.
Oh yeah, I mean I would say Waters Institute is pretty grade level binding. They're pretty amazing. If you haven't talked to Danelle Hogan, that's a really great one. STEM Teachers Phoenix is going to be offering some breakout sessions, probably middle of spring, that are going to be more lower elementary level.
Perfect. I actually know Danielle very well. She's the one that taught me to be a STEMazing leader.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Oh,
yes, I'll hop over
amazing.
to her. She's amazing, yes.
And I know with her program too, you get all your hours with just, for her group. So it's good stuff.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, what group was that one more time you were saying?
Oh, go ahead, Amanda. Let everyone know, because everyone can hear you.
That's all right. So the group that Mike was just mentioning was the Waters Institute. STEMazing is through Pima County, and they might be good if you're a younger, lower elementary. Also, Waters Institute is for any grade level, and STEM Teachers Phoenix is doing things that are multiple grade levels, so you can check them out. So all of the breakout rooms just closed automatically because we wanted to give you guys the chance, if you needed to get out of a breakout room or if you were ready to move on to the next one. We have 2 more breakout room sessions. So I'm going to be opening up the breakout rooms again. If you need to go back to the same one and talk to the same people, that's fine. If you're ready to go find somebody else, that's fine as well. Anything else, Mike?
I'm getting some reports that some folks are having a little bit of a tough time getting into some of the breakout sessions. We couldn't get into some of the breakout sessions and had to leave and re-enter the meeting. So we might want to give folks a little bit more time.
Okay. Let's go ahead and see how it works on the next round. If you are struggling to get into the breakout session, it might be that there's just a ton of people in that room. So,
Hey, Amanda, I have a blip on my screen that says open all rooms. Should I do that?
Yep, let's go ahead and do that.
Got it.
Hi, I have just one question about the PDs. After getting fellowship in STEM in ASU, I just decided to, because there were some opportunities for PD sessions in other states, like Future of Education and Technology conference, which is going to be held in New Orleans, I think in January. And I requested my principal to send me there. It's a 1 week or 5 days conference over there. So will that, or can that be counted?
The answer is, I would turn in 2 lesson plans and 10 hours of PD, and $1,000 could definitely help you with that. Yeah, the answer is, as long as you pre-approve it with us and it's out of state, that's okay. But we need to, make, major national organizations is fine. You just need to send us a note, give us like a link so we can check it and make sure. There are some groups out there that are kind of paid to play kind of organizations, and we can't give you permission to do any of those kinds of things. So, if there's a conference like with Discovery Channel or something, I keep going back to those guys, I apologize, but that's definitely off limits when it comes to, resources for the grant.
So if we need to get an approval for the outstate conference, so whom should I contact? Because I have only one email from Ms. Naragay, Shaila, and then I don't have any other person to contact. So is it okay if I just contact one person and just figure it out or get it approved?
Yeah. So if you email the STEM box, all 4 of us see the STEM box, so we all have access to it. Shaila is the point person, she's our leader when it comes to sifting through, because we're getting 60, 70 emails a day. And so, but a question like that, we can definitely, we'll take a look at that and give you a thumbs up or thumbs down on it. So, don't be afraid to ask, I guess is my answer to you. Just, if you see something, you're like, hey, this would really help my instruction and make me a better teacher, awesome. Send it our way and we'll let you know what we think.
And for me, like I'm the technology head in my elementary school, and I've been taking PDs. Like I'm training teachers about different technological aspects and different technological tools we can use in the classroom. So those PDs which I'm conducting, will those counted, or I have to attend some other PDs as well?
Well, if you're giving it, it doesn't count. You have to take it. So you can't give it, you got to take it. So again, getting back to the whole, being the calculus teacher, having to go back to school, right? Like it's not great, but unfortunately that's kind of how the system runs, if you are the instructor, you can't double dip. So it has to be something that you are, a class or workshop, something of that nature, that you're actually taking that instruction.
Yeah, I understand. It's like more about learning rather than teaching. So it's like more learning what I have gained from other PDs. That's what is important here. Thank you. Thank you for your answers.
Yeah, you bet. There's some great questions.
Hi, I am not able to get into a session on the breakout rooms. I'm clicking on, it's not letting me in.
Oh. Amanda, can you help our lost member here?
Give me just a second. All right. Are you EMARKS?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Where would you like to go?
I want to go to AZ K-12 Center.
Gotcha.
They're a good one. They're a good one.
Okay.
So, I went to the STEMazing, and evidently there's a STEMazing water also.
Yes.
So I
What-
like the STEMazing that I went to dealt with robots, which I'm interested in. But then I just got a survey from STEMazing Water Center Systems Thinking, also interested, but I don't know which of these. There's just says STEMazing with 62 people in it. And I don't know.
So STEMazing is the one from Pima County, and that's the one with the robotics. The Waters Institute is the systems thinking one.
Right.
They were
Oh,
both
wow.
started by the same person, so they both have STEMazing attached to them still, but they are two separate entities.
Okay,
Two very distinct separate entities.
Two very distinct separate, yeah.
And is the Waters Institute in Phoenix or?
Tucson. However, just FYI, all our PD partners will be, for the most part, going to wherever they're needed. So like, let's say you're in Holbrook or Flagstaff or wherever. If you had a group of fellows in your area, they were like, hey, can we come on out? Don't be afraid to ask if, that's a possibility with a PD partner group. We're trying to encourage folks to kind of travel a little bit. So, just kind of depends. Marguerite, where are you located at?
I'm in the best part of the state, Tucson, home of the Wildcats. And I just had to throw that in. So,
hey, I'm a lumberjack. So let me tell you.
So I wanted to go and check out the Waters Institute because what they're trying to do is, just so you'll know, is have cohorts from different areas.
Yep.
So they just sent me a thing and said, what county are you in? Pima. And I don't mind traveling some, but I don't want to drive to Flagstaff. No offense.
No, actually Danelle's based out of Tucson, so that's perfect.
Okay. And then I did put a question in because this came up in one of my classes is I do know that the robot one has a class scheduled for February 11th here in Tucson. But then the question became, are we making sure that the classes aren't all offered on the same days? So that, like, I'm signed up for, I want to sign up for Camp Plug and Play. But if I do some amazing water systems thinking, they have a class that'll be in June also, to make sure that I can go and not have them both on the same day. Although Plug and Play will pretty much cover all my hours. Just kind of confused.
I get, so I would, I would take a look at their agendas and their schedules and just kind of, do what works best for you.
So part of the struggle is that the main website with the calendar of events has not launched yet.
Okay.
So if you have, and some of the organizations have not settled on what their dates are yet because they want to know what the locations are and that sort of thing. So as we know those dates, we will begin to post them starting in December.
Okay, so if I take Camp Plug and Play, which is about 24 hours of professional development, do I have to show how I won't have students by then? So
No.
how do I demonstrate all this amazing stuff that I've learned with students that I no longer have?
Well, we're not asking you to demonstrate what you learned. We're asking to demonstrate what you did with your students. So, your project is what you're going to be showing off to us as far as like, hey, look at all the great things we did with our kids. So, the professional development is important. And we would hope that, it would help you in, crafting those lesson plans. But it's not, it's not tied to your payment, your stipend or anything like that. We're trying to keep it as flexible as possible because we do understand that there's going to be people that aren't going to take their coursework until like the summer, right? Because people are really busy and we get that. But the caveat is, if you choose to go that route, you need to be aware that like if you miss the deadline, you miss the deadline on July 31st. Like you need to make sure you have all your stuff turned in by then. So just FYI. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little type A, so not worried. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Ty White, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. I got a quick question for you.
Absolutely.
So I mentioned something to you before about the Noise Master Teacher Fellow Group that provides PD out of U of A South. Do you mind?
Hey, Noise is a nationally recognized, famous program. I mean, that's, I don't see any issues there.
I don't know why we didn't make it on your partners list, but that's but I was wondering if you mind, like I've been trying to share that with people, and especially for people talking about Tucson, Sierra Vista, other down here in the Southeast, not having resources. If you don't mind dropping that one, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. We can get that on the website too when it goes live in December. That's an easy thing to do. And so we also will have just so you know, we also have like out of network partners is the only way I can really describe them. So like the Arizona Science Center, has volunteered to come do stuff. We have the Maricopa County STEM office is fantastic. And they, they're going to work with us and let us post some of their events online. We're not funding them, but they already have tax dollars funding what they do. So they didn't, need our help, but those kinds of partners are also fair game. So
that's great. Ours is also free too. Like I wasn't trying to and I was just being sarcastic. I didn't really mean to make it like a guilt trip there.
No, man, no problem at all.
For what it's worth, like if people have been getting any of these in their emails, the bumps, they come from Sin Fronteras. That's the identity name for our PD program.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely get it in there for sure.
No, man, I'm excited. This looks awesome.
Hey, I got to tell you. I've been teaching Arizona for, I don't know, what, 20 years, 15 years or whatever. And this is the first time I've seen like this much awesomeness like come to bear with every major PD organization. Like some of these groups are doing like some really great stuff. So I might be showing up to a lot of these PDs myself because they're pretty cool.
Right.
I see Mrs. Voss down there.
Is Washington? I'm sorry, is Washington here?
Oh no, she's in STEMology because she's running STEMology.
Gotcha. I'm gonna jump over there. Thanks.
You got it.
I came out from the breakout room because I just wanted some clarification on kind of the expectations for us and how it all kind of fits in. So from my understanding, the PD opportunities that we choose can help us to create the 4 lesson plans, but they don't have to be
correct
aligned necessarily. As long as it's STEM, it's digestible for teachers, they can look at it, they can do it right away. That's what you all are looking for. Is that right?
That's correct. 100%.
And then, okay, great. And then the project, can I get a little bit of clarification on that? Like I was just in the STEMazing PD and or breakout room, and they were like, yeah, if you come to the PD, you can use some of the stipend that you get to buy like the robotic pieces for your classes, for class set, which sounds great. Is that like, can that be my project, or is that separate? Like, what is this culminating project supposed to look like?
No, that can be part of your project if you like or not. Like it's up to you. So, you know, the big component to the grant is we're doing, we're creating opportunities for kids at the end of the day. We all know teachers are we're the keystone species, right? We're the people that get kids, into clubs and organizations and schools and everything else. And so the idea is that we put the investment in the teachers, and you as the teacher are going to pay it forward, so to speak, with your class. So when you applied, we looked at everyone, we created this matrix, and we looked to see our ROI, our return on investment. And we looked and we said, Chloe's got a good ROI. She's going to affect and touch X number of students with her project or her idea. And so that's why, a lot of the fellows got selected for, one of the reasons we brought people into the program. And so our goal is that, you would do something with your students for your project that's outward facing, that, can get kids interested in STEM, and it can be whatever you want. So whatever level you're at, whatever, whether you're a physics teacher or you're a kindergarten teacher, we don't care. We just want you to, accelerate STEM in your location. And I'll talk about this at the end today before we go, but one of the research components that we're going to look at is, we're going to look at this idea of the drag effect. Does Chloe grab her 5th grade team and take them to some of these other PDs with her? Do you accelerate STEM beyond the confines of your classroom, right? I think is a really interesting research topic. And so one of the things that's just one of the things we're going to look at, but we're trying to get kids more engaged, right? We're trying to get kids more interested in STEM at these core levels, because I don't know where you teach at, but I'm not going to say where I used to teach at, but I can tell you where my kids are at. And, STEM in their location is once every 10 days. Right. And I know schools are very different. Some schools it's embedded, it's ingrained in what they do. It's part of their being, but there's a lot of schools in Arizona that don't have that. Right. It's very much like this one-off special that they do every couple of weeks. And we're hoping that you guys as fellows will slowly start to crawl that away and, bring it back to the forefront as, one of our, core disciplines in Arizona. So let me get off my soapbox here. I'm sorry if I went on too long there, but that's kind of I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Then I appreciate that. That definitely gives me more perspective of, what the intention behind this is, because then that makes it feels a little bit more I guess, like freeing for me to be authentic to my students and to the teachers that I work with and collaborate with them. So the project is that, just to clarify, the project, and I saw the timeline, the project deliverables is really the 4 lesson plans, and the 4 lesson plans don't all necessarily have to be all about like sustainable farming. It could be a variety of things. Is that right?
Oh yeah, they can be whatever you want. It's totally it's up to you. You know, our dream is that we get you know, 4 of your best, right? Like if we get so imagine this. Imagine if we got 4 of the best lesson plans from, you know, the best teachers in STEM across the state. Like what would that look like? Like that would be amazing, right? And that would be something that we would archive and, you know, cherish and share with others, because, you know, at the end of the day, like there's not a lot of great resources, especially anything that fits our particular objectives in the state. And so having a place, you know, a depository of that information, you know, is kind of a, you know, that's why it's like one of our big deliverables is that, you know, even after the money runs up and, you know, the fellowship goes away, you know, that will always remain. And so we are hoping that you guys, you know, turn in your best stuff. You know, I mean, I get it. Like some folks are going to turn in, you know, this is my quick hitter that I use every single year, whatever. But I'm also hopeful that we'll get stuff that like, hey, you know, this aligns with, you know, Artemis, or this aligns with something new that's taking place, or I went and I learned this amazing new thing and I wrote this awesome lesson based upon it. So, but we're not holding anybody to anything. So
Can I clarify really? Can I
Yeah.
add another clarification really quick? So if we would really like for these 4 lesson plans to be a record of the project that you do, but if that's not possible, then we're flexible. Does that answer your question?
this is Amanda's way of telling everybody I talk too much. So
I guess I'm so sorry. And like maybe I'm the only one that's still a little confused. So like
You
if so, like,
absolutely are not. You absolutely are not. And also, this is not something that we have to answer today either.
Okay.
But we can also talk about this a little bit more. I'm not quite sure, as I think I opened up all the rooms a little bit early, so I apologize. I meant to have kind of a break in between the second and third, but I think I opened up the rooms already. So if you're in here because you were waiting for us to say, hey, go join another breakout room, hey, go join another breakout room. This is round 3.
Chloe, did that answer your question though? I mean, tell us.
So I'm seeing in the chat, I think everyone's kind of feeling the same thing. Is it like a couple of people have kind of reiterated my confusion, I think. It's so we create these 4 lessons and then we have a separate project or a project that could be related to this lesson. What is the deliverable for the project? And if we're going to be using some of the funds, like I just went to this amazing one. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I want to do that. That's awesome. Like to buy robotics, like a class set of robotics for my class. Like, is that then my project, or is that just a separate thing? And maybe I create a lesson from that.
Amanda, do you want to go?
Sure. So if let's use this amazing robotics example. So if you're going like in a sort of perfect world, you could go to the STEMazing PD. They could teach you how to use the robots. You could use your money to buy the robots. You do the robots as a project with your students, whatever it is that you choose to do with them with those robots, and then write up 4 lesson plans, kind of, you know, this is what I did with the robots. We'll also have at the end of the project a kind of project write-up. If that sort of clicks a little bit better as to the deliverable for the project. So we are going to be asking you to sort of talk about what you've done sort of as a whole. But maybe that's not how your progression goes. Maybe you do a couple of hours with AZTEA, or maybe you do a couple of hours with Science Teachers Association, and you're just looking to add more hands-on to the activities that you already do. that would be your project, is adding more hands-on activities with your students. And you sort of piece that together through whatever it is that you want to do for your students. Does that, we're trying to,
Chloe, here's a question. What do you want to do with your students?
yeah, there you go.
We're gonna give you this insane amount of money. So what do you want to do?
I think that's like the part that's like overwhelming, right? Like how cool, like no one's ever done this for teachers. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like there's no sort of like concrete deliverable, like, you know what I mean? I think that's where I'm like trying to wrap my head around like working backwards. So like the urban farming sounds so cool to me. So I want to try and like do some of that with my students, but so does the robotics. So like, I guess really for me, like as a teacher who, to be quite honest, like doesn't do a lot of STEM lessons, like I think for me, what excites me is like kind of getting my feet wet in a little bit of everything, like going to PDs for a little bit of like different STEM opportunities, and then doing that with my students. So then I can like also hone in on what I like and what speaks to my students.
Well, you know, I'm sorry, I was cutting somebody off there.
Hey, I
and
just have a question. I'm not sure when to jump in, or is this a good
Sorry,
time?
I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to talk to Jamie Hansen. I have been trying to message you, and I know you keep getting kicked out. I'm going to try and put you in a breakout room. Could you message me where you want to go? But I've really been struggling. I don't know if the connection's bad or what, but sorry. Go ahead, Kennedy. T. Kennedy.
Hi. A question, if long-term this could
Thank
potentially
you.
be
I will do that now.
If this potentially could be a 2-year fellows, I think if it's not bad to have too many hours of PD for sure, but when you're trying to spread out yourself with the teaching and the PDs, if the cutoff, there was one at Glendale, Grand Canyon University that had 20 hours of PD, and I was thinking of doing that February class through, I think it was Cornell University with the birds. So I would already have 30 plus hours of PD by the first week of June. If I continue, is there a cutoff? I know that we want deliverables like by the end of July, but if I continue with more PDs, could I potentially save some of those to go into the following year for that new bank of 20 or 30 hours that you would want if it could be a 2-year fellows?
Unfortunately not. It's got to be within the 1 year, because we recognize that there's some folks that are going to do like a ton of PD, or they're taking classes or that kind of thing. And we're trying to like, unfortunately the answer is no. Like you can't like build up a savings account and push it forward. It has to restart on August 1st.
Okay, so August 1st, but that's my question. I think I just need to pick and choose what I want for my PD. And, you know, again, you wouldn't discourage me from taking more than 30 hours, but if I'm trying to stay true to that 30 hours to get my sanity back in the summer, then you're saying, what was the date in August again? August.
So July 31st is when all your paperwork is due. So you have to have your hours completed by then. But anything from August 1st this year to July 31st counts. So it's retroactive. So like I was telling some folks earlier, like if you went to the Science Teachers Conference here in Phoenix 3 weeks ago, that's 15 hours, and that one conference counts, totally counts. So it just got to be within that 1 year block.
And I know there's no guarantee we could get the second year fellowship anyways, but just I'm trying to kind of organize my blocks of time here. And then I just have a question for if a coworker and I are wanting to do a STEM night for our community and our school towards the end of the school year, April or May. Can those be our mini lessons as well? If we're doing lesson plans for breakout sessions and for students, does it necessarily have to be like a classroom setting, or could it be more a community setting where we're providing a lesson?
It could be, but you gotta follow Jonathan's directives. Like it has to be something another teacher can like beg, borrow, and steal.
Sure.
So if it's not something that somebody can take it right off the shelf and integrate it right away into their instruction, then he's probably going to tell you no, because the whole point of the lesson plan archive is to create like this database of lessons for teachers to use. And so, that's why it's scripted and very specific. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks
I
for
have a
joining us tonight.
question.
Yes. Crystal,
We
can I,
have two. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Well, our question is, we have two teachers at the same site. So we're both sixth grade teachers. And that's kind of what we were asked when it was presented to us from our district, was we could join together, but we're two separate STEM fellows. Could we do the same project, but submit 8 lesson plans between the two of us? Or do we have to do two completely different things?
They should be different. They should not
Okay.
be clones of each other, because Jonathan will pick that up really quickly, and he'll send it back to you. So because we need variety, like we need variety across.
But it can be the same project.
Right, the same project, but 8 different lesson plans. She still does her 4 lesson plans. I do mine, but as a whole, sixth grade at our school site does the same big project at the end.
Yes, they just can't. They just can't be like clones of each other. So, for instance, give you an example, right? So, like we all know, so I go back to physics because that's where I came from, right? We all do Newton's 3 laws in November, right? So if everyone turns in, so what we would not like is, we would not like 2 sets of Newton's laws. If you could do it where you do Newton's laws and then somebody does another, I don't know, free fall, that would be preferable, because then if we have 2 of the same stuff, like it takes away from the variety of what we're trying to put into the database. Does that make any sense at all?
No, absolutely. My only other question, because I've kind of, and it might be the way I'm understanding it, but I've heard it both ways. So our 4 lesson plans, do they have to coincide with what our final project is? Or can we start a thing like STEM Thursdays and do a STEM lesson every Thursday in our classes and save those lesson plans and upload them, and then do a completely separate STEM project on the side with our classes as well?
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Yeah, that's absolutely okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, sorry.
Hi there, Melissa. How you doing?
Good. Also, I think I stepped on Jennifer's toes because you have like 4 people with their hands up. So I have 2 questions. One, I'm already working with National Center for Science Education, so I can get PD hours that way. But also, oh God, I want to do, like, to make it more interesting for my kids is to do more problem-based or problem-based lessons. Is that something that we can use as our final project?
Yeah, that should be fine. Just just send us a quick email and we can take a look at it. But I think that's totally fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Amanda, I think we're close to, we need to start wrapping up. Can I close all the rooms? Amanda, I lost you.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry. I think we've got about 34 seconds until it bumps them out on their own.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we can go ahead and close all the rooms.
All right, I'm gonna close all the rooms.
I know that you guys still have some questions, and that's fine. Mike and I are not going anywhere. And I have a feeling that some of our PD partners would be willing to hang out afterwards as well. I just know that we've got a couple of things that we want to say before we go. So don't worry, we're not going anywhere.
Hey, Amanda, I lost line of sight. Like I wasn't here, now I'm gone. Let's see. Okay, do we have everybody back? I have lost everybody's feed here. I can't see anything.
They're coming back.
Okay.
We've got, I think we have everybody back at this point.
Okay. Amanda, do you want to post the webinar questions doc into the chat?
Rashna, can you do that?
Yes, give me 1 second.
All right. So thank you guys. Before we call it a night, there's just a couple things I want to say really quick. First of all, Amanda is posting the webinar questions into the chat. If you have any other questions, please post them here, and then we will put them out on social media later tonight and tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some more questions. And again, like Amanda said, we're going to hang out and talk to you guys as long as we need to. So we are here for you. A couple things have been working really good for us in the last 2 months have been especially the Facebook page. So if you're not on the Facebook page, I think we only have about half membership on there. Last time I checked, I think we're at about 300 members. Please go jump in on this, because this is a really easy way for us to stay in contact with everybody. And also, if you are doing anything awesome and you'd like to share it, please feel free to put that on there. PD partners as well. I know the urban farming group has been on there quite a bit. You know, so feel free to post anything that comes up or any offerings that you think the rest of the squad here would like to take advantage of. And again, you know, coming to the end here, you know, we'll hang out for a little bit. But here's the inbox. Send us an email. Let us know if you need anything. But before we get going, I just want to say this to everybody really quick. We spent a lot of time trying to cultivate this particular group, and there's a reason we picked every one of you guys. And many of those reasons are very different from each other, but it comes from a common belief that we absolutely think that you guys are the epitome of what we're looking for when it comes to actually overhauling the system when it comes to Arizona STEM education. You know, for years and years, me, Amanda, and others have worked tirelessly to try to like make it better here in Arizona. And when this happened, this was like, you know, I mean, this was like the ultimate as far as you know, whoever gets this kind of funding to do a project like this, like it is ridiculously unheard of. And so one of the things that we are trying to do is we are trying to make the case like on an individual level of, you know, does money make a difference in STEM education? We think that doing a project like this will definitely prove that. We think that, you know, we will have very great data at the end of this year that will show folks that, hey, you know, an investment in STEM education is vital, you know, to Arizona's workforce, our economy, the whole gambit. And so I think that, you know, as far as parting words go, I just can't iterate enough that, you know, we are really counting on each and every one of you guys to do your part. You know, we are hoping that at the end of the day, we can have some amazing stories that come out of this. If you're doing anything really cool that you want to share with us so that we can share with the rest of the world, please tell us. You know, when the website goes up, we're going to have a very large platform to share the things that you're doing. And again, don't feel like, you know, it's just me doing this. You know, if, you know, I was telling some teachers earlier here, you know, let's say you're a 5th grade teacher and you're the only fellow in your school, right? A lot of the PDs that are being provided, you know, it's not just for fellows. You can bring others along. If, you know, if I was to see one really cool thing come out of this, it would be, I would love to see that 5th grade teacher take their team with them to like a PD and everyone gets something out of it. I wish I could pay every single teacher in the project or across the state that applied. There were hundreds upon hundreds, but you know, we did the best we could with what we got. And so we are counting on you guys to help make this effort, you know, something that's really special. So again, thank you guys so much. Me and Amanda are going to hang out and take all your questions. And please get your paperwork done as soon as humanly possible so that we can get you into the ASU system. All right, Amanda, you got anything?
You guys are great. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited.
All right, thanks you guys. We're gonna record this and we'll post it if anybody missed anything. So thanks again. Appreciate you.
I'm gonna go back to the other room and keep.
So I love what you guys are doing. This is reusable STEM, curriculum, everybody posting stuff. That's one of the most divisive things about education in Arizona. Everybody does it, nobody repeats it. It's always recreating the wheel. And that is the most brilliant thing about what you're doing here, and I love it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. We're trying. We're trying.
Sorry, Michael, to hijack really quick. I'm another Noise STEM fellow. I think you have 3 of us. You have Ty, myself, and I think Rachel Carpenter's also here. And I do want to get in touch and kind of spread the word about the professional developments that are happening with the Noise Fellowship. We have an agrivoltaics professional development where people that are attending, right, we can give out for rentals or even give out permanently like small agrivoltaics kits that are made of PVC and solar panels, and you get multimeters and infrared thermometers. So just a heads up about that, and maybe we can talk more and post that on the website. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we're here as Noise Fellows, and we do have some things to offer in addition to delivering deliverables. So thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. I'm going to go with the upper left-hand corner. Jennifer Cook has been waiting patiently.
Hey, thanks. So my question has to do with the fact that I am a digital teacher. So I work for ASU Prep Digital, and I am a digital and instructor with them full time. And I'm teaching 8th graders this year. So I have a couple questions related to the resources that are going to be available for me. One is what professional development is available for fully online teachers. The second one is obviously the project itself needs to either be not have hands-on to it or the hands-on deliverable would be a digital deliverable. Or 3, like, do you have any kind of, I guess, general thoughts or examples for us who are online and fully digital?
Yeah, actually, Jennifer, I'd love to talk to you offline about this because, one of the reasons we picked you guys is because you are in this space that we do need help in that particular area. I think there's about 8 of you guys that are digital only teachers.
There are. There's exactly. There's about 8 or 9 of us in the cadre who are fully digital.
Yeah. And so you guys bring a really unique perspective that, like, I'm pretty excited to tag team with you on because I think there's some really cool things that you guys could do to help the project out. So, but if you want to get on my calendar, let's meet in the next, maybe next week or the week after, and we can sit down and talk about it.
Okay. Should I just Slack you?
Yeah, just send me a message, send me an email, and then we'll get it set up.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. All right, Mr. Lane, the STEM guy. Loving that.
Thank you. I love everything you're doing. I'm sorry for that. But I know a lot of I love connecting with my main man, STEM Jeff, on Twitter. He's part of this. And have you thought about creating a Twitter page or a hashtag or a Twitter group for all the teachers? So if they're part of this group, they can instantly kind of see all those things that all these teachers are doing in that moment,
Yeah, actually we do have it. Rachna, do you have the Twitter handle by any chance handy? I'll see if Rachna can post it, but we do have a Twitter.
Yes.
We do have a Facebook group, but we've had more traction with the Facebook group than anything else. It's just been tough because, we don't have a website yet and we're still waiting on the website. And, so trying to get the word out to everybody on everything's been really tough. So, yeah, we do have a Twitter handle. We haven't been using it nearly enough. So I apologize for that. but the Facebook group has been I think like the main go-to for, and we also have LinkedIn, right? Rachna, do we have a LinkedIn, I think?
Yeah, let me do this. I'm going to post all of them again here, that list of all of our handles and everything for everyone to see.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because like even if like you created like, like that, like a group with like all the fellows that are on Facebook, I mean on Twitter, because like once they're part of that group, like if someone tweets something out, they kind of get that feed like within that special group there. I think that would be a powerful tool to kind of connect everybody to that are on Twitter, because I think there's a lot more of us using Twitter too as well. So I think that'd be a powerful medium.
Awesome. Well, I don't know. I just got like 3 new Twitter followings in the last 30 seconds. So thank you, Mr. Lane. Awesome. Jennifer.
Sorry, I'll lower
Yes,
my.
I think you have a couple Jennifers.
Oh, Jennifer, Jennifer, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. I just had a quick question about the lesson plans. Now I'm the STEMazing leader for kindergarten for my district, but I also work with the Desert Museum here in Tucson to create a curriculum that is going nationwide also. We focused on the 5 E's in our lesson plans, or is that kind of what we're doing? Or is it just more the STEM part?
Oh no, you can totally focus on that. I mean, that's completely fine. So Jonathan will probably send out an email with more information in the next week or two. Again, once we get the website up, like it'll all be laid out exactly what you need to do on that. I would also look at the FAQ page that's in your onboarding documents, because that kind of also explains a little bit of like what the requirements are. But the requirements are, pretty loose. Like we want 4 lesson plans, hopefully your best. The idea would be that every teacher turns in their 4 best lessons that they think are the epitome of the work they do in the classroom, and we get to share that with the state, which would be amazing. But we also recognize that we don't have exact STEM standards, and we don't, and everyone's kind of a little bit different in what their standards are. So there's a lot of leeway in that. So I hope that helps.
It does. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Janae.
Hi, I have a couple questions. So if you want to let Jennifer go first, she can.
Okay. I think Jennifer already went though. Did Jennifer already go? She still has her hand up.
There's another Jennifer Straight, rather. Was that her talking?
I think so. I can't see.
Okay, I think so. Okay.
I'm gonna go with you though. You got the floor. Go for it.
Perfect. So just make sure the paperwork was just that one link that we had to fill out.
So it's the link. It's the ASU paperwork. That's first and foremost. We need that done ASAP, excuse the pun, so that we can get you into the system.
Okay.
And then after that, we're going to need you guys to do the, there's a couple other forms that are, it's all in the FAQ and also in the email. But it's the ASU paperwork needs to come first. So
Okay, cool. Okay, I get.
It's kind of like it's kind of like this line of things, like once you get this paperwork done, the next one opens up, then the next one opens up. It
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So,
and with that paperwork, is it automatically sent to ASU? Because when I finished the paperwork, it didn't say I had to email or anything. It just like say, okay, you're done, complete, and you completed it.
I think it just goes to ASU, but then what'll happen is that Shala has all your names, and then it'll populate in her database, and then she'll see if you're in or not. And then every couple of days, ASU will give us an updated list.
Gotcha.
And then she's going to go through it. She's just going to check people off. And then once you're checked off, then we can start rolling with all your other stuff. So, okay. Yeah.
And then as far as the lesson plans, I think you guys already answered this sometime during the PDs. They could be a part of a cohesive unit, correct?
Absolutely. I know Arizona Science Teachers Association is going with a cohort model where they'll walk you through making all of them, which is awesome. Waters Institute, I think Danelle's on here, they're doing something similar. We've tried to tailor it so that it fits your needs. Cause I know me, like I would like to join a cohort because I want to walk through it with people, right? But I know other folks, like that's just not a possibility, right? So then we have like STEM Teachers Phoenix that's doing a lot of one-offs, like every other, like 2-3 weekends a month, they're doing like something totally different on a Saturday. So you can like, pick up 5 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour.
Okay.
So we've tried to create all the PD opportunities, kind of like a mix of everything, online, in person, cohort model, non-cohort model, so that everyone can participate and get the hours that they need pretty easy. And again, if you want to do something that's on the national level or state level, the Arizona Department of Education, they do awesome STEM stuff. They're doing a workshop that totally counts. If you wanted to go to do a workshop at NASA, totally counts. It's anything that's like from a legit organization of that nature, we're gonna count it. So,
Okay. And then I'm sorry, Carbando, you can go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You have the floor.
I was just gonna ask, I went to the STEMology and the ASTA PD. Do you have any other recommendation for like a ELA teacher?
Actually, I can't say who I like because that's not fair. I like all of them. I think, I would watch their videos, take a look at their videos. I think there's some pretty outstanding programs out there. I can't really give you. That's
No, I get it. I get it. You can't be
I'm
biased.
sorry.
I completely understand. I'll check out the videos, and then if I have any more questions, I'll put in the facts.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you.
I have the question.
Ja-
You just
hold on
said
real-
something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted you to repeat the one that you said that has 4.
The one that has 4.
4 lesson plans that they're doing together.
ASTA, Waters Institute are doing cohort models. Those guys are they're walking you through the whole process.
Okay.
So those are
thank you.
yeah.
ASTA.
Jazzy, you had your hand up.
Yes. Hi, I am connecting to reach out. So when we fill out the form that was sent in the email about our professional plan, do we just email that back to
No,
Shahala?
not yet. That's just to kind of give you that's just the example, to give you an example of what we're going to ask for. So the evaluators, we have professional evaluators on the project. They're going to send you it's either going to be a Google form or a Qualtrics form. I don't think we really fully decided yet, but they'll send it to you and it'll all be like in a form document that you'll fill out and send back to us. But those are the questions that we're going to ask you is what is on there. So just so that you can start preparing it and have it ready to go. So, because we want you to start having that, because we want you to start having that now so that you can start putting it together. So once we do send it out, you just cut and paste and pop it in there. So. All right, Amanda.
Hello, I've got several questions, so just tell me if I need to email you guys instead. On the PD, a couple of the partners were talking about some webinars and such. Do those count if we can get PD, our certs or anything like that, if we do the webinars?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as we're a part of our partnership, so Marnie's leading the charge on that at GCU. They have a whole their whole online stuff is pretty awesome. They're a partner, so anyone in network, so to speak, is totally fair game. What we don't want you guys doing is you can't go sign up for LinkedIn do like 30 hours of LinkedIn classes. Like if you did anything like that, we'd be
Okay.
like, nope, sorry. Discovery Channel out. Nope, not, even that like National Geographic, unless
Yeah.
you're like, unless you're doing the trek to Antarctica, we're gonna say no, because those are pay to play organizations.
So if it's through one of the PD groups that we have on the list, then we're good to just watch their webinars, do whatever with them, and those will all be blanket covered.
Yes, because they're gonna give you a certificate. And you need to
Sweet.
have, and you need to have a certificate, because if you don't have something that proves that you attended, then it doesn't count, because you can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so with those, double dipping with our districts. So if we get the certificate with all of these PDs, can we double dip with our district and submit those certificates to our district? Like I'm supposed to get 14 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And in
And
fact,
then-
I hate to I know some people probably don't want to hear this, but there's actually districts that worked with us that are actually helping their fellows get their PD hours in double dipping, which is pretty awesome. And so, we're trying to make it as easy as possible on the teachers. So like if, you go to 30 hours, one of the things all the partners are going to do is everyone's going to give you a certificate. So they're going to take your attendance, they're going to send it to us, and then you're going to get a certificate. But you can use that certificate any way you want also, like not just for us, but if your district will take it, which certain districts are, more power to you, go for it. So absolutely.
And so like if I'm already talking with the STEM Teachers Phoenix group about hosting up here. So if they collaborate and they host one through my district and they give me a seat hour certificate, since they're already one of our groups, that'll work.
Green light. Absolutely.
Woo!
You bet.
And then I'm sorry, I have just 3 more questions. The other question is one of them talked about that you guys said there's a $200 professional organization membership credit. One of them talked about that. Because like I've wanted to join some of these professional organizations and money is tight. So just curious on how we get that $200 for that as well.
So what'll happen is you'll get a survey in January. We didn't talk about it because we're a little bit far out from that, but you'll get a survey in January, February, and it'll say, who would you like to join? I would say the bulk of our partners total combined, it's like maybe 100 and 150 bucks. To like, I think STEM Teachers Phoenix is like 15 bucks. ASTA is like 25, or, they're all pretty in that area. And so what you'll do is you'll tell us the professional organizations you would like to belong to. And then what'll happen is we will give them the list in mid-April, and then they will make you a member for the year.
Sweet. And then my questions on the project. I have AP chemistry and I have a project that I've been trying to create and build and do with them. Could that be my project that I do with this?
Yeah.
It's a field trip. It's a 2-day field trip. We do water quality analysis. And I've only got to successfully work once because I didn't have funding. I didn't have the equipment. And with the money that you guys are going to give us for the equipment, I can buy my vernier probes and make this a really cool project. And I want them to write a water quality analysis comparison amongst 3 different water sources in Northern Arizona. And so that's kind of like my dream project for this.
Oh man, take me with you. That's awesome.
Okay.
No,
cool.
that's fantastic. No, absolutely. That is exactly the kind of stuff that, we're hoping you guys will do. You are getting $2,000. So as I said earlier, you get $2,500 for supplies. And the reason you're getting an extra $500 is because you do get 1099 on the $2,000. And so again, I can't offer tax information or comment on taxes, et cetera, but there's a reason you're getting the extra $500. But what that does is allows you to buy vernier equipment versus the Amazon model we had before would not let you do that. So that would be this would be a perfect scenario for that.
It's
And
too
by-
bad you guys can't write the check straight to the schools. That way it just like covers that since they're
Oh, trust
non-tax.
me. Oh, oh, trust me.
Is anyone from ASU on here? Let's let's double check. Just
It
kidding.
has been a 4-month-long conversation about how to best do this in the way that gets you guys everything that you need with the least amount of burden. And we are very excited to have landed on this solution, because this is better than some of the other earlier solutions. So just
Because because
Okay.
Amanda, if we wrote a check to the, so give you an idea, if we wrote a check to the school, then to buy the supplies, then ASU would technically own those supplies, and we would have to take them back at the end of the project, which nobody wants. And then the other thing too is, like, in our initial grant, just to give you a little history, we wrote it to pay the district to pay you to do what we're talking about. The problem is if we do that, then the school district will take out 35% of the funds, and it'll go to health insurance, retirement, and you actually walk away with a stipend less than $3,000 at the end of the day. I think you get like a little under half. So by going this model and paying you directly and making you a contractor with ASU, you get to keep a good hefty portion of that instead. So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it. We're trying to make sure teachers can take home as much as they possibly can.
Well,
all right.
And I appreciate that. And my last question for you is the 4 lesson plans, since mine's a project that's part of my lesson plan, like one of my lesson plans would be that, but I have ideas for like other lesson plans that just are chemistry. Would that be okay?
Yeah, absolutely. They don't have to be like exactly related or aligned. They can be different. It's totally fine. You just got to keep in mind that it's got to be something that somebody else can use. So if it's something that's only razor specific to you in this particular field trip and this, then that doesn't help anybody. We need them to be shareable. So
no, and I've got some really cool PhET simulation ones and lesson plans that I do with that. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys' time, and good luck. And thank you.
Absolutely. All right, I got SF Norman.
Yes, that's Sylvia.
Hi there.
Hi. I'm a special education teacher in Tucson, and I noticed, tons of people going to each thing. You want lesson plans that are more than just the solar powered airplanes and such, right? I mean, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of the same thing, right?
Right. So the lesson plans aren't necessarily tied to the PD that you're doing, right? So like I would hope, and honestly, when we looked at like who we selected, we tried to get a really good sample data set, and that included people from very vast areas. So give you an idea, like, when I taught freshman physics at Pinnacle a couple of years ago, like, I had all the special education kids, and you do have to tailor certain science labs to those particular types of kids. Like you got to. So, I would hope that, being the specialist that you are, because that is a need that, if there's anything you could give us that's like from your best practices that you use, something that you really think your kids enjoy, I'm hoping you could share that with us and we could put that in the archive. So, it's not necessarily like you have to do, let me backtrack. It's not necessarily tied to the PD. We'd like it to be part of the PD. If the PD helps that, great. But at the end of the day, I just want your best foot forward. That's it.
I had 2 project ideas. One would be with the solar power. That's why I went to see his thing, but I was thinking more along the line of solar powered panels that the students can make themselves for like an air conditioner. I would you know, in Arizona, you know, I don't know why anybody would want air conditioning, you know. But the other idea I thought was going along the lines with 4-H in that making a water trough that would feel kind of like a toilet where the animal always had water, and when it needed to be cleaned, it could be flushed. Make sense?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, but would that be considered appropriate for STEM?
Well, you know, air conditioning is direct applications of physics. So, you know, anything that you're doing with your students that, you know, is STEM related, that, you know, you can justify in your write-up, go for it. I mean, if you're building, you know, air conditioning units in the desert, I mean, that's, you know, that checks all my boxes as far as I'm concerned. Just make sure that you can write it up so that another teacher could like take a look at that and be like, oh, that's what
Could
she
follow
did. That's
it,
pretty
right.
cool. Yeah.
And
So-
the trough as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
So-
because I saw on, I know it can be done because long time ago they used to have this show where the kid Ty Pennington, they would go in and build houses and so forth for people. Well, this one kid, he was just a high schooler and he built solar panels out of soda pop cans. So I want to figure out how to do that so that I can teach my students how to do that. And so that's why I'm going to do the solar powered PD so, so I can figure it out.
Sounds good. I mean, you know, let us know how we can help too. Me and Amanda got a lot of contacts in those realms. So yeah.
Would Ty Pennington be one of them?
Unfortunately, we're not that cool, but Amanda might be, but well, thank you. Hey, I see another hand. I'm gonna go with Marissa and then Ryan. Hi, Marissa.
Hi. So I did a PD not too long ago with Project Astro here in Tucson, Arizona at the university. Is that an acceptable PD to
Absolutely. Project Astro is funded by NSF, which is a national organization, and it's through Arizona, University of Arizona. So double counts. So hopefully they got you in to go see the solar telescope, because I think that's the coolest part of the trip. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So
You
we
bet.
saw the mirror labs and stuff. They were not able to. Purchasing maybe some specialty telescopes, maybe to look at asteroids and stuff. So I'm not sure, but I'm thinking I want to do something with microplastics and water and that sort of thing. My concern is I teach 6th grade students, and I have a STEM elective. But my concern is I really do want to find some more PDs in Tucson. Because I don't want to take a lot of time off. You know, is there a list that you guys could put out that
Yeah, it's in your onboarding.
available?
Yeah, so in your onboarding documents, in your onboarding email that you got on Monday, there's a list of all the PD providers and all the things that they're offering. Also with like their links to what their, you know, their organizations, and a short video explaining what they're doing. So I would recommend checking all that out.
But also remember that, just remember that the PD offering will be searchable by location starting in December.
Yeah.
Okay. Since I already took the one for Project Astro, I think it counted towards 15. It was like, I think in October. So I should be, I have a good start.
Totally counts.
Start
You're
on
good.
that. Okay. And so,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you very much.
You bet.
Okay.
All right. Is this the Ryan Glosser I know from Peoria, Arizona? I sure hope so.
Yeah, it is. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. How you doing?
Oh, I'm going. We had the Ironwood My Life for our junior high today, so I'm beat. But I have a question for you. I was awarded the fellowship after my principal had already agreed to front the cost for the urban garden outside of my room. I think we're ambitious in what we're trying to go for, 132 cubic feet of gardening space. But so I guess my question is that monies that she will be spending very soon, is that possible to be reimbursed? Not that she's asked for that.
No, because we are just going to write you a check. So
Okay.
you, the teacher, get the check, not the school.
I see. And then, so, I mean, there's things that I could definitely purchase that would enhance, this garden space further, by other quantifiable opportunities, like
Oh, I can think of a million things you could do. I mean, there's all the vernier stuff. You could bring in
which I signed
pocket
up for.
labs. You could do. I mean, the sky's the limit. It's up to you. Whatever you'd like to do. Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm super excited, and it's really great seeing you do this, personally. Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
coyote to another.
Oh yeah, coyotes. Coyotes for life.
Right.
Centennial, everybody. Sorry, we went to high school together.
Yeah.
I should have asked this question much earlier, but I know that we have a couple people who had questions for some of our PD providers. I know Rachna is still here. And I just wanted to make sure that nobody was waiting to talk with her. Or I'm looking for anybody else. I don't see anybody else left. So
Do you want to rapture them and send them over to a breakout room, Amanda? Or are we
that's kind of what I was thinking. I was wondering if it would be helpful for me to take a group, like if we could just split up into some rooms and divide and conquer.
Sure. Why don't you
All right.
do you want to take a room and I'll take a room, and then we can answer everybody's questions before we get going?
Sure. I will take room 18 and Mike will be in room 17. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay. Or you could stay here because some people were having trouble jumping into a room. So you stay here and I'll jump into room 18 and we'll just get these questions answered.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Abby, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
My question is actually pretty fast. So earlier you guys had spoke about supplies that would be like frowned upon, and one of those things you said was like a laptop. My school is not a one-to-one. I was looking at buying a couple of small low RAM Microsoft Surface Pro, like Microsoft Surface, and each of my 4 lessons plans will have a use for those. Would that be something that is okay?
You just need to be able to justify it.
Okay.
We're trying to get away from that because I know there's a temptation there to buy like computer equipment, because like we all need it, right? And it's like this high expense, and we know the districts like never give us enough of what we need. But at the same time, like we're trying to like when we get audited, right? When they come back and they say, what did you spend the money on? And a lot of teachers spent their money on a personal laptop. Like that doesn't help our cause. Let me put it that way. So
that makes total sense. That makes total sense.
But if you absolutely needed it and you could justify it, and you got like a killer deal or something, I mean, we can look at that, but I would not, I would not suggest making that your first choice. Does that make any sense? So
Yeah, no, it was not going to be anywhere near the full 2,000 of it. It was a chunk of it with the rest of things being supplies. Like I said, I was setting all 4 of my lesson plans up as stations with the technology being one of the stations to be in all 4 of the lesson plans. It would have a technology aspect. So
Okay.
nothing like a laptop for myself. It was like, they were like $350 a piece, and it was like a small, because I personally, my classroom, I've already have a couple of funded by myself. And so then these 2 would add 2 additional ones to where I could have a small group station on technology for part of the lesson, for part of the project.
Okay. Yeah, I would say just be able to make sure you can justify it in your, in your documents that you turn in later. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Joanne. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you've been waiting there for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Mine piggybacks off of hers a little bit. I'd been thinking of a couple different things, and I almost wish she hadn't left. I was originally interested in something VR or AR, but I have classes of 21 to 28 kids, and 8 tables. So 8 of something would work. But when it was going to be Amazon only, the stuff that I wanted that would be more VR AR wasn't going to be through Amazon. So I was thinking about, purchasing the merged cubes, but we have nothing in-house that can read it well. And we don't want kids using their own cell phones in class. So I was thinking about tablets that could work with merged cubes. But then you said we can use it elsewhere. So I'm looking, I want to look at class VR, but I need to be able to make sure I can come up with something original while using class VR. My background, I don't know if you remember, is nursing, taught nursing for over 10 years. My most recent, and I still am on the books for U of A's, where the medical students train, not the nurses, but the medical students downtown here, the bio, you know which one, 7th Street and Fillmore. But it's U of A's, a lab there, sim lab. So my big expertise that I thought I was bringing to your project was more of that kind of critical thinking, clinical reasoning, and then backing that up all the way through high school into elementary school. And so one of the general ideas I have, as I'm driving and I'm thinking of all these different things to do, would be some sort of scenario where someone could even do a first aid type of thing. So I'm backing up from med school all the way to 5th grade. And can they come in and do, like a stop the bleeding first aid thing?
Keep going, I'm listening.
Okay.
No, keep going. I have to plug in, sorry.
Okay. But there's some aspects of human biology, human anatomy, how the circulatory system works, veins and arteries, but I don't have any objectives related to that in the clinic, in what I'm teaching. Like our whole middle school curriculum, I went through all the objectives, and there's nothing human anatomy related. I don't know if they're supposed to be. Do you know anybody that knows that, or maybe anyone listening knows?
I do not, but if you want to send me all that, I can find out who does.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, as a nursing instructor, and I actually still, I dabble in that too. I'm full-time here though, 5th grade, and my kids go to school here, and that's one of the draws to come and teach science here. When they get to nursing school, a lot of times in a lot of the schools, not major universities for sure, but we have a lot of schools that are training nurses that are going to take care of you someday. and they kind of didn't get a good background in science or math or anatomy. They still come with A's for some weird reason. I mean, the system just pushes them through. So, and most, even when I was at GCU, I haven't taught nursing for ASU or U of A. I only help out with the medical school over there. So it doesn't apply to them. But even with GCU and these other big schools here in Phoenix, they come to nursing thinking nurses go and do this stuff. They give medications, they start IVs,
Right.
that's cool stuff. But the biggest, most important thing that nurses do is clinical reasoning, which is critical thinking, which is also scientific method. And so I have written, simulations for nursing students, and I was wanting to write a simulation for middle school, for them to come in like a
Right.
first kind of scenario, where they would go, first they see, and then they think what's the most important thing to do. Then they do it, but then they have to evaluate. And that's what a lot of my students coming to me in nursing, they didn't realize that the most important thing was the thinking, the scientific reasoning.
So Joanne, let me cut you off here really quick. Let's talk about this. How about you send me an email like today or tomorrow, and let's get on each other's calendars and chit chat, because I think there's some really good touch points there that we could probably work on.
Yeah, and it's a lot of specifics. I'm sorry for taking everyone's time. I'll send it to you, and I'll send you, the one of the presentations I did at a thing a while back.
Yeah.
Which is college level, but I want to take that and back it all the way back to middle school.
Hold on, I think Kirsten has something to say.
Yeah, Joanne, I just wanted to connect with you, and I'm so sorry for interrupting, but I'm hearing you talk. I'm like, oh my gosh. So and I don't know, Michael, you can say no on this, but I'm also wondering, like, why not? My sisters work for Mayo, and they work in the simulation education department doing education, but they've also been wanting to go into middle school and going down. I almost wonder if you guys need to connect with each other.
Ah, we can do a
Even
consortium
see
or a
if that can,
compact or whatever they call that.
What was that?
It's one of those consortiums or that, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like if you guys, because the same, concerns you brought up or same thing she's talking about, like how can we bring the community together, and like, it's coming all around. So I kind of feel like you guys, I'm texting my sister. I was like, wait, there's more people that see this too.
Well, and all of the
why don't
nursing
you guys
educators are talking about it. There's just nobody doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys both email me, and then I will connect you guys to, and then we can work on this. I think that would be pretty cool.
Cool. All right. That works.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys.
Put Ingleside Middle School on your list of people to communicate with, because I'd love to take that curriculum into my middle school. That would be awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Ingleside Middle School.
Are you talking about the first aid thing I was talking about?
Well, I guess I teach STEM at Ingleside, and what you're talking about would be awesome to bring there. I kind of came in late, but yes, bring it to us. Love to bring it. Our school, Arcadia High School, has a big biomedical CTE program, and honestly, I don't do anything for it at this point.
Right.
Start.
Yeah, I know exactly what they need going into that. And I've taught at CT as well. I started at high school CT in Metro Tech, and I've worked my way up to helping out at the med school at University of Arizona. I've done every level. So.
Very cool.
Okay.
Well,
I won't take up any more time. I'm sorry. I just get so excited.
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving the synergy here. Savita.
Hi. I have a question about the registration form. Like I am an international teacher, where I have to select yes or no for claiming tax treaty benefits. I don't understand whether I should be selecting no or yes.
I think there's information on there about if you have I think the question is like if you have a social security number or not, and there's a couple other questions on there. But if the answer is not on the form, reach out to me, send us an email, and we can put you in touch with who can answer that. I think somebody mentioned earlier tonight that if push comes to shove, we could write the district a check and they could pay you that way. But I'm not 100% on that. That's going to be one of those things we're going to have to go do some homework on. So.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I'll do that. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Does anyone have any more questions? All right. Hi, Shala. How's it going? Shala's in the other room next door, so she's far, far away.
I was talking, it was all muted. I'm so sorry.
No problem. All
I'm
right.
not sure Joan has a still question or her hand is off from before.
I think her hand's up from before, but I think she's onto something. I think she's going to change the STEM lambs. The STEM
It's my dying
landscape.
breath. With my dying breath, I will. Sorry, and no, I've never put up my hand in a thing before, so I didn't think to put it down. Actually, I didn't know how to put it down, so I'm just gonna leave it up. Yeah, it's just like, you know what I have to offer most uniquely, and the best part of what I have is not related to where I'm working now. So but I'm still whatever I purchase is going to benefit them, because that's why I'm thinking of class VR and things like that. But yeah, but I would love to create a simulations, and they need to.
I don't know if you've gotten down to Paradise, or probably up, but Paradise Valley Community College, they have an entire nursing simulator room with an entire like floor of mannequins that do
Yeah,
stuff.
Mike, I've been working in those rooms for 10 years.
Nice.
Those are the lessons that I've written. You know, some schools, you know, they take the canned curriculum that comes, you know, but I've written some.
Hey, hey, Amanda, I think we're pretty close. Do we need to, do we want to bring everyone back together and close up?
I just got kicked out of my room. I had another person in there who's ready to ask me a question. I don't know how many. I see Teacher Estee on the line here, and I don't know, a couple other people. Do we still have people with questions?
I'm rapturing everybody back over. So let's do one room and we can do some follow-up questions for about 10 more minutes or so.
All right, perfect.
Christy Jones, is it possible to save the chat? We're going to save a recording and we will post it probably Friday.
I believe the chat also saves. I'm making no promises, but I believe the chat also saves. Not in the breakout rooms though, only in the main room.
All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I think we are good to go.
Can you still hear me, Mike?
I can, yes.
I pulled up an old email from like August or something. I don't see your ASU. I just see a Hotmail. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can send it. That no problem. You can totally send that there too.
And there you go. All right, cool. There you go. And I'm also in that Facebook group. So if that other person's in the Facebook group, she can see me over there too.
Perfect. Perfect.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Email to send questions. Yes, that's the ASU, that's the stemteachers.asu.edu. I'll write it in the chat.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys hanging out, and you know, just reach out if you have any questions. We're here for you through the next couple months. And so, and again, you know, we're seasoned STEM teachers just like you guys. So like, if you need any like ideas to bounce off of or anything of that nature, or you need some contacts or whatever, you know, we'll do whatever we can to help you. So we're the best part about this job is me and Amanda get to be cheerleaders for the next 6 months for all your efforts. So, all right. All right. Well, thank you guys.
Sorry, to Mitzi. We've got, for the breakout rooms, those were for the PD partners. So if you want more information about the PD partners, take a look in the onboarding email that we sent to you. There are links and videos and descriptions of their programs in there. Does that help?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right. Amanda, why don't you bring it home?
All right. Have a great night, everybody. I think, again, if you have any questions, go ahead and email us, and be on the lookout for information about the website to be posted in the beginning of December, hopefully. Have a good night, everybody.